The ancient discovery Dr. Sarah Chen pressed her face against the porthole of the deep-sea research vessel Horizon. 3 miles beneath the Pacific Ocean, something extraordinary waited in the darkness. The sonar readings had been impossible to believe at first. A structure the size of a city, buried in sediment that carbon dating suggested was over 50,000 years old. "Are you sure about this, Sarah?" asked Captain Marcus Rodriguez as he guided the submarine toward the anomaly. "The pressure down here could crush us like a tin can if something goes wrong." Sarah nodded, her eyes bright with scientific curiosity. "Marcus, this could change everything we know about Earth's history. The geometric patterns we're seeing don't match any natural formation. Someone built this." The research team had been working in secret for 6 months. The initial discovery came from Dr. James Park, a marine geologist who had been studying underwater earthquakes. His deep-sea probes had detected metallic structures that shouldn't exist. When he brought the findings to Sarah, a leading expert in xenoarchaeology, she immediately recognized the significance. "Dr. Chen, we're approaching the main structure now," called out Lieutenant Emma Walsh from the navigation station. Emma was their military liaison, a sharp naval officer who had volunteered for the mission despite its classified nature. Through the porthole, Sarah saw lights begin to flicker in the darkness. Ancient systems, dormant for millennia, were somehow responding to their presence. The structure was massive, its surfaces covered in symbols that seemed to shift and change as they watched. "My God," whispered Professor David Kim, the team's linguist and ancient languages expert. "Those symbols, they're not like anything in our historical records, but there's something familiar about the mathematical patterns." As their submarine, docked with an airlock that had somehow remained functional after thousands of years, Sarah felt her heart racing. They were about to become the first humans to step inside what was clearly an alien vessel. The interior was breathtaking. Corridors stretched into the distance, their walls glowing with a soft blue light. The air was breathable, maintained by systems that defied human understanding. Dr. Park ran his instruments over every surface, recording energy readings that suggested technology far beyond anything Earth had achieved. "Sarah, you need to see this," David called from what appeared to be a control room. The walls were covered with star charts and technical diagrams. "I think I can translate some of these symbols. This isn't just any ship. It's a warship, and according to these records, it was fleeing from something." Sarah studied the alien text as David worked to decode it. The story that emerged was chilling. The ship belonged to a race called the Architects, who had visited Earth during humanity's earliest days. They had been part of a galactic community but had discovered something that made them flee to the outer rim of the galaxy. They were running from something called the Galactic Council, David explained. According to these logs, the Council had banned certain technologies. The Architects refused to comply and were hunted across the galaxy. Emma, who had been examining what looked like weapon systems, turned pale. "Dr. Chen, I think I know why. They were banned. These weapons, they don't just destroy matter. They manipulate the fundamental forces of reality itself." The team spent weeks exploring the ancient vessel. They discovered that the Architects had hidden multiple ships in Earth's oceans, hoping that one day another species might find them and continue their work. The technology was revolutionary. Stealth systems that could bend light and sensor waves around a ship, making it invisible. Energy weapons that could phase through normal matter and strike at the quantum level. And, most remarkably, a propulsion system that could move a vessel between dimensions. Sarah realized that humanity had been given a gift, but also a terrible responsibility. The Architect's final message was clear. The Galactic Council still existed, and they would not tolerate any species developing the forbidden technologies. "We need to tell the world," Sarah argued during one of their late-night discussions in the ship's translated command center. "No," Emma replied firmly. "If this council is real, and if they're still out there, we need to be prepared. We can't just announce this discovery and hope for the best." Captain Rodriguez agreed. "We need to build our own version of this technology first. Then we'll have options." The decision to create a secret project was not made lightly. Sarah contacted her former colleague, Admiral Lisa Thompson, who had always been supportive of unconventional research. Within months, a classified program was established. The official name was Project Deep Blue, but the team called it something else, the Phantom Initiative. Dr. Park led the engineering team that reverse-engineered the architect technology. It took 2 years of intensive work, but they succeeded in building Earth's first quantum phase warship. The vessel was unlike anything in human history. Its hull was composed of a metamaterial that could shift between solid and partially phased states. Its weapons could ignore conventional shields and strike at the molecular level. And its stealth capabilities made it effectively invisible to all known detection methods. The ship was named Defiance, a tribute to the architects who had refused to surrender their knowledge to an oppressive galactic authority. Sarah stood on the bridge of the completed warship, watching as the final systems came online. The crew was small but exceptional. Captain Rodriguez had volunteered to command the vessel. Emma Walsh served as tactical officer. Dr. Park was the chief engineer, and David Kim managed the translation systems they had developed from architect technology. "All systems green," reported Emma from her station. "Phase drive is online. Quantum weapons are operational. Stealth field is stable." Sarah felt a mixture of pride and concern. They had achieved something incredible, but she couldn't shake the feeling that they were about to face a test they might not survive. The test came sooner than expected. Long-range sensors detected unusual activity at the edge of the solar system. Ships had arrived, their technology signatures matching nothing in Earth's databases. The Galactic Council had found them. "How did they know?" Sarah asked, as alarms blared throughout the secret facility. "Maybe they've been watching us all along," Captain Rodriguez replied grimly. "Or maybe they detected our test flights." The alien ships were approaching Earth with clear hostile intent. Communication attempts were ignored. It was obvious that the Council had not come for negotiations. "All hands to battle stations," Rodriguez ordered. "This is what we trained for." The Defiance launched from its hidden base beneath the Pacific Ocean. As it rose through the water, its stealth systems activated. The ship became a ghost, invisible to the approaching alien fleet. 6 vessels, Emma reported. Unknown configuration, but they're definitely military. Energy readings suggest weapons far beyond anything we've seen before. Sarah watched as the alien ships took positions around Earth. They were not here to talk. They were here to destroy any trace of the forbidden technology. "Captain," David called from his station, "I'm picking up a transmission. It's in the same language as the architect records." The message was brief and direct. Earth was to surrender all advanced technology immediately. Any resistance would result in what the Council called planetary sterilization. Rodriguez looked at Sarah. "Your call, Doctor. You discovered this technology. Do we surrender? Or do we fight?" Sarah thought of the architects who had chosen to flee rather than submit. She thought of humanity's long history of refusing to bow to oppression. She thought of the children who would grow up under alien rule if they surrendered. "No, we fight," she said quietly. "We show them what humans are made of." The Defiance moved silently through space, its quantum engines producing no detectable signature. The alien ships had no idea it was there, but Sarah knew this was just the beginning. The real test would come when they revealed themselves to the galaxy. As the ship prepared for its first battle, Sarah realized that humanity was about to announce its presence to the universe in the most dramatic way possible. They would not be victims. They would not be conquered. They would be free. The Council's ultimatum Admiral Lisa Thompson stood in the command center of Earth's primary defense station, watching the alien fleet take position around the planet. The 6 vessels were unlike anything in human experience. Their hulls seemed to shift between different states of matter, and energy readings suggested weapons that could crack planets. "Admiral, we have a transmission coming in," reported Communications Officer Janet Mills. "It's being broadcast on all frequencies, in multiple languages." The main screen flickered to life, showing a figure that was clearly not human. The being had pale blue skin, 4 arms, and eyes that glowed with an inner light. When it spoke, translation software converted its words into precise English. "I am Warden Zeph Ka. of the Galactic Council Enforcement Division. The species known as humans has violated the technological restriction accords by developing quantum phase technology. This is a Class 1 violation, punishable by immediate containment. Admiral Thompson stepped forward. This is Admiral Lisa Thompson of the Earth Defense Force. We have not agreed to any accords. We developed our technology independently and have every right to defend ourselves. The alien's expression did not change. Ignorance of Council law is not a defense. Your species has been monitored since your first atomic weapons. The development of quantum phase technology represents an unacceptable threat to galactic stability. Monitored? Thompson's voice rose. You've been watching us without our knowledge? That's an act of war. We do not negotiate with restricted species. Zefka replied coldly. You have 1 standard galactic hour to surrender all quantum phase technology and the vessel known as Defiance. Failure to comply will result in enforcement action. The transmission ended, leaving the command center in stunned silence. Earth's leaders had suspected they might face alien contact someday, but not like this. Not as defendants in a cosmic court they had never heard of. Admiral, came a voice from the secure communications channel. This is Captain Rodriguez aboard the Defiance. We're in position and ready to respond. Thompson looked at the tactical display. The alien ships had spread out in a formation that would allow them to bombard Earth from multiple angles. Humanity's conventional fleet would be useless against such advanced technology. Captain, what are your capabilities against those vessels? Thompson asked. Unknown, Admiral, but Dr. Chen has been analyzing their energy signatures. She believes our quantum weapons might be effective. Sarah's voice came through the comm system. Admiral, the alien ships are using a form of adaptive shielding. Their defenses shift to counter incoming threats, but quantum weapons exist in multiple states simultaneously. Their shields might not be able to adapt fast enough. Thompson weighed her options. Surrender meant the end of human independence. Fighting meant risking the entire planet. But she thought of the architects, who had refused to submit to galactic tyranny. She thought of every human who had ever stood up to oppression. Captain Rodriguez, you are authorized to engage. Show them what humanity is capable of. Aboard the Defiance, Captain Rodriguez turned to his crew. You heard the Admiral. Emma, bring us into attack position. Dr. Park, I want maximum power to weapons and phase drive. David, monitor their communications. I want to know what they're thinking. The Defiance moved like a ghost through space. Its stealth systems were so advanced that the alien ships had no idea it was approaching. The crew watched tensely as they closed the distance to the nearest Council vessel. In range, Emma reported. Target lock acquired. Fire, Rodriguez ordered. The quantum torpedoes streaked through space, their particles existing in multiple dimensions simultaneously. The alien ship's shields flickered as they tried to adapt, but the weapons phased through the defensive barriers as if they weren't there. The torpedoes struck the hull directly, causing a chain reaction that tore through the vessel's quantum matrix. The Council ship exploded in a flash of exotic energy, its destruction visible from Earth's surface. Impossible, came Zefka's voice over open channels. No restricted species should possess such weapons. We're not restricted, Sarah replied, taking over communications. We're free, and we intend to stay that way. The remaining 5 Council ships immediately began searching for the Defiance, but their sensors could not penetrate its stealth field. The human warship moved between them like a predator, striking and disappearing before they could respond. Second target locked, Emma announced. Fire. Another Council vessel erupted in flames, its crew's screams echoing across the communication channels. The alien fleet began firing wildly into space, hoping to hit the invisible enemy. They're panicking, David observed. Their communications are full of disbelief and fear. Zefka's voice returned, but now it carried a note of uncertainty. Human vessel, you cannot defeat the entire Galactic Council. Surrender now and your species will be granted protected status. Protected status? Rodriguez laughed. You mean slavery. We've read the architect records. We know what you do to species that don't comply. The Defiance struck again, this time targeting the flagship. The quantum weapons tore through its advanced hull like paper, causing critical damage to its command systems. "We're receiving a priority transmission from the Council homeworld," David reported. "They're ordering immediate withdrawal." On the main screen, Zeph Ka's image appeared again, but now the alien looked shaken, uncertain. "This engagement is suspended pending Council review. Your species will be contacted through proper diplomatic channels." "No," Sarah said firmly. "If you want to talk, you'll do it now, as equals." The remaining 3 Council ships held their positions, their weapons trained on Earth but not firing. For several long minutes no one spoke. Then Zeph Ka's image returned. "The Council will grant humanity provisional membership status. Your species will be allowed to develop its technology without interference, but you must agree to certain restrictions on territorial expansion." "We'll consider it," Thompson replied from the command center. "But understand this. Earth is not yours to give or take. We are a free people, and we will remain free." The Council ships began to withdraw, their sleek forms disappearing into hyperspace one by one. Only Zeph Ka's flagship remained. "You have won this engagement," the alien admitted, "but the Council governs 1,000 worlds. You are one planet, with one ship. One ship that your entire fleet couldn't destroy," Rodriguez pointed out. "And we're just getting started." As the last Council vessel departed, Sarah stood on the bridge of the Defiance, watching Earth grow larger on the main screen. They had faced the test and passed. Humanity had announced itself to the galaxy not as supplicants but as equals. "Dr. Chen," came Admiral Thompson's voice over the comm system, "I think it's time to tell the world what we've discovered. The age of hiding is over." Sarah nodded. "Yes, Admiral. It's time for humanity to take its place among the stars." The Defiance descended through Earth's atmosphere, its stealth systems finally deactivating. As it became visible to the world's telescopes and cameras, people everywhere looked up at the sky with wonder and pride. They were no longer alone in the universe, and they were no longer afraid. In the depths of the Pacific Ocean, the ancient architect ships continued their eternal vigil. But now they had served their purpose. The torch had been passed to a new generation of cosmic rebels. Humanity had joined the ranks of those who would never surrender their freedom, no matter the cost. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter that night, as if welcoming Earth's children to their cosmic inheritance. The age of human expansion had begun, and nothing in the galaxy would ever be the same.